Hi Copic fans, it is Michelle Houghton once again. I've got a brand new video for you today. We are going to be coloring up this image from Stamping Bella from their Tiny Townie collection. This is an adorable stamp, and I've actually had this one for a little while. She's got this giant pencil and the stamp comes with her and the little high. They are kind of the cling stamp version, and I love those because they just print up so crisply or stamp so crisply. I did a lot of testing, and you can kind of see all my color testing off to the side on that one sheet because I really was trying to get some colors that I was struggling with. When you have a chance, check on my blog at scrapweaver.com. We have a couple Copic colleges coming up this fall, and those are a couple of them are just about to sell out, so check in on those. So I'm going to start on her skin, and I'm using E00 and then E11 for the shading. So I'm keeping it really simple, just nice round shape, kind of highlighted toward the center. The bangs obviously drop that shadow from the top, and then her jawline ends up with that shadow. I've added a touch of R20 for her cheeks just to give that little bit of blush, and softened it with the E00 again. Then I am coming in with a BV00 for some deeper shadows. So I've got the cast shadow under the bangs, a little bit of shadow along the jawline, and I am going to soften it just a touch with E00 again, because it came out a little further than anticipated on the one side. E43 is going to base her hair, and she's got this fun, adorable little bun and these cute bangs. And so I'm going to do my flicking, and this is E44, kind of from the bangs down and up, and then treating that hair going back into that bun. So on this particular hairstyle, I'm paying a lot of attention to the direction of the hair because I want to really emphasize that cute, adorable hairstyle. So I'm really making a point of finding those places where I think which direction the hair is going and all of that. So I've got E47, and then I'm using a tiny bit of E49 to push back kind of where those, kind of right in those creases, just really popping that. The E49 is almost black. Then I'm going to go back with E44, and I'm softening. So I just go over that dark real lightly. So I flick from that edge inward, and then I go back with that E43, and I work from the center out on the hair. V000 is going to be the base of her little shirt, her little blouse. Then I'm going to use V01 to kind of emphasize some of that shape. Now this is a really slight change. You can barely see this. So I'm coming up from the bottom edge, and I'm showing kind of some movement in that shirt, some folds by coming up a little further in a couple areas. And then I'm going to use BV00 that I used on her face. I'm coming down and adding that into the shadows or the deepest area of that shirt to give it just a little more oomph. A little cast shadow under her arm too. Then I've got B91 on her little skirt, and I add B95 for just a little bit of shading. Notice I'm keeping like the clothing super simple. This is not a huge image, so it doesn't need a whole lot. I forgot her bow, so I am going to go back and use the V01 and then the BV00 on her little bow, so it's matching her little top. Then I just go ahead and I'm going to start on that pencil, and I'm going to do it like kind of a classic yellow school pencil, Y00. And I realize as I'm filling in the yellow that I've missed her other hand completely. So I will have to come back eventually right here with a little, and I did the E11 just to fill those little fingers in. So Y21 is my second color on my pencil. She does not make it easy with her little hair bow and stuff to work around. But notice I'm going kind of down the length of the pencil. So I'm trying to leave kind of a long, little bit of a highlight. And I end up smoothing this out quite a bit. But I wanted to lay down some of those colors that I felt like were on there on a yellow pencil. So we've got Y35 next. Again, I'm not really so much flicking on this as creating these kind of long, thin bands of color. Then I come back with that Y, double zero, and I smooth out that highlight, and then I'm going to darken it up just a little bit with that Y21. I just felt like it was too bright and was getting away from me, so I smoothed that out a little bit more. Then on the eraser, I played with this one a lot, but I'm starting with a BV20. Then I've got an R12, and I cover the whole thing with the R12. And then I've got an R14. I'm shading that kind of like that half sphere shape. And then R17, and then going back and blending those together. And then it looks much more eraser-like to me. I did finish with that BV again at the corners just to darken that up a little bit. E50 is going to base the wood on the pencil, and then it's kind of a cone shape. So I'm coming in from the sides, a little wider at the base of the cone, a little dark, narrower at the top, and that was an E53. A little touch of C5 and C7 on the lead of the pencil, and then C1 is going to base the metallic piece, kind of the crimper holding on to that eraser, and I'm blowing on that. That's why it kind of flipped around there. C5, and I'm going to create kind of this look of these crimps where it's been crimped down on the eraser. And then I am adding a silver Prismacolor on the top of this. And this, unfortunately, you're not going to see, but it adds this little bit of shine, like a metallic shine. So obviously I can add those touches in by leaving white highlights, but I thought this was kind of fun today to do a little bit of shine on top of it. So then I made a decision to color kind of almost like wood, like a desktop. And as soon as I did it, I realized, shoot, I think it looks like she's actually drawing on that surface. So it probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense to have colored that in. So I kind of go back and forth on that part. I've got a B quadruple, so 4 zeros that I am flicking from the image outward, and I'm not going out to a certain point, I'm just coming out from the image. And because this is so light, I did not start with my colorless blender this time. I'm just flicking out, and it fades to white because it's so light. But I am coming back with my colorless blender, doing some small circles over the edge of that to make sure it really softens up. And then on that desktop, I add an E35. So it was E21 as the base, and then E35, adding those flicks of color, and I come back with the E21. So I kind of commit to the desktop, although I think she's doodled along that surface. So I think that's supposed to be her paper, but for right now, it's a desktop. Sorry about that. But I put her all together on a card. You're going to see that here in just a second. But I just appreciate all of you guys coming by. If you haven't had a chance, make a point to like the channel, and that'll make sure my new videos get in your inbox every week. If you've got questions, please ask. I'm actually watching all the time, and I try to get things answered as quickly as I can. Thanks so much to Stamping Bella. We love their images. I love their images, at least. I assume others do as well. And I hope you will join me again next week for some fun Copic coloring. Have a happy, colorful week.